Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. I think that's Corey.
Outbreak!
And today we are doing the 1995 movie Outbreak. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And let's get into this movie, Outbreak. 1995. I vaguely remember this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And when we decided that, with the current climate of 2020, in March of 2020, with the coronavirus, I don't know why I used quotes, but sure.
Yeah, that's really what it's called.
I figured that two things. One, you could find this movie on Netflix.
Yes.
And two, Netflix has been doing like the top 10 movies watched in like the US.
I really liked that.
I do too. And it has been in the top 10 for 2 weeks now.
Oh, yeah. Which is beyond terrifying for numerous reasons.
Exactly.
This is not, I'm going to spoiler alert real fast. This is not the movie to educate yourself about, okay?
No, it's not.
Move on. I'll cover some movies to watch at the end of this shit. But this is not your Bible, people. This is not the virus Bible.
No.
Move on.
No, it's not. So I didn't realize, because I just, when we decided to do the movie, I was like, oh, I know Dustin Hoffman's in it, and I know Cuba Gooding's in it.
Yeah.
I totally forgot how many stars are in this movie.
It is fully loaded.
Cuba Gooding, Dustin Hoffman, Morgan Freeman, Rene Russo, Donald Sutherland, Kevin Spacey, and a very awful Patrick Dempsey.
Who in the effing F cast Patrick Dempsey as a character named Jimbo?
Jimbo!
Casting him as a character named Jimbo and then like screwing a carpet or gluing a carpet onto the back of his neck as a mullet was by far the worst casting decision ever made.
Yes.
And that includes Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls.
I did notice a few things about the Patrick Dempsey character that I was just like, not the best role for Patrick.
No, he rolled with it as best he could. I'm not dogging him out on his acting because,
No.
I mean, it was him acting as Patrick Dempsey.
Yes.
But, Jesus, Murphy. Jimbo.
So, Jimbo. That was the one thing I couldn't get past was Jimbo. The opening of this movie is 1967 in Zaire, I believe, at a mercenary camp. The place is infected. They send in a government agency.
Well, this was military. The
yes.
Army came in.
Yes, and they come in. Yeah, they come in to clean this up.
Yeah.
They come in to look into what's going on here. They notice that this disease is like eating everybody alive within like 3 days, and they just decide to drop a bomb on the camp and let's just get rid of this for a minute.
Yeah, young Donald Sutherland in 1967 walks into this camp, sees a 16-year-old popping his zit, and goes, "Fuck, they're all sick! Kill them all!"
That's Donald Sutherland's go-to move. If in Fear, Marky Mark's go-to move is moving back clocks, Donald Sutherland's go-to move is let's just drop a bomb on it and call it a
genocide. Just pure genocide. You didn't know this, but the original name of his character was Slobodan Milosevic.
So it flashes forward to present day, which is 1995 in this case, and in a biosafety lab. And this is the longest walkthrough / exposition that
it was too much.
It was way too much.
Like, I felt like I was halfway through the movie by the time the actual credits.
You know why?
Had stopped.
Because you were. Okay. It cuts to Dustin Hoffman and Rene Russo. They're going through a divorce, and he's still in love with her. And it's just, there's the one thing I did notice about this whole movie is two things. One, there's like 100 plot points in this movie.
Oh, there's way too many subplots.
And
it's insane. You actually have to restart the alphabet. There are so many fucking subplots.
And the second is when I was finished watching the movie, my reaction was this movie could have been a very good movie.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
and they just tweaked it and messed with it and they tried to put too much into it.
They focused way, way, way too hard on the army being the good guy and the bad guy.
Yes.
If they would have focused on the virus as the bad guy and kept it man versus nature.
Yep.
Dude, this movie could have just been knocked out of the park and actually gone through like the chains of command and thought processes, but not going from zero to genocide inside of 40 fucking minutes.
Exactly.
It's
and so Rene Russo, they're going through their divorce. She's like getting transferred to the CDC. Mm-hmm. He's going to, because he's part of the army. He's an army doctor that researches all of these diseases. And he's going to Zaire to investigate this disease that is broken out in some village in Zaire. On the way to Zaire, I did notice one minor thing on the plane there, because this is where you get introduced.
This is where we meet Cuba, right?
Yep, this is where we meet. I call him Cuba because that's how it's spelled. So that's where we meet Cuba on the plane.
I will not recognize communism.
So we meet him on the plane. He's the very heady, smart doctor, but he's new to the team.
Yes.
And they pan to Kevin Spacey, like laying down, listening to music on whatever the hell the cases that they're bringing. And Spacey is humping the air to the music. Did you notice this?
Dude, let me just say.
Isn't that what got him in trouble in the first place?
First off, every scene with Kevin Spacey is cringeworthy in this movie.
Frankly, I'm sick of hearing about it.
All right.
For army doctors, for just any military structure that you are involved in as a career, they observe none of it. This is the most casual group of military people with each other that I have ever seen in my life.
So here's the thing, and I noticed that too in a couple of different scenes. Well, more than a couple, but the first is they get to Zaire, right? And they're basically telling Cuba Gooding, like, just relax and let's go through this. We'll get through this. Everything's fine. He freaks out because he sees the kid crying with the two dead parents and throws up in his suit. And they're like, don't take off the helmet. He takes off the helmet. And they're like, Jesus Christ, like, quarantine this asshole. And the guy in the village tells them,
don't worry. It's not airborne.
Right.
And they just automatically trust them and just take off all their shit. So there's one.
Yeah.
And,
big time against protocol.
Yeah. After they leave and they're heading back to, their base or whatever, Hoffman is basically using Kevin Spacey as his secretary to take his notes for him to send to Morgan Freeman.
Scribe my thoughts, boy.
And in this, Hoffman says in his report,
this is the scariest son of a bitch I've ever seen.
And you know I've seen a lot.
Fine, facts at the Ford's house.
That's super professional.
Yeah.
Like, when you say it's like the most casual, like, military.
Yeah.
You couldn't be more right. Every, like, turn in this movie, I'm like, that's not a thing. They wouldn't do that. Like, you get court-martialed for half the shit that they do in this movie.
Dude, they basically went into an Army Navy store, bought some old camo fatigues, and just walked outside and like, hey, we're doctors. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They think that this virus is contained until someone takes a monkey on a boat. And
the old monkey on the boat spreading venereal disease, spreading viral disease.
And venereal disease. I don't know. Whatever.
He could have syphilis. You don't know.
So here's the other, like, and again, small detail, but I was just like, I'm calling bullshit on this. Rene Russo is leaving because they're selling their house,
Yep.
And, you know, they're divorced. They have 2 St. Bernards, I believe, are what the dogs are. She's getting into the cab with the dogs, enormous animals. And there is no way a cab driver would let A, 2 St. Bernards into his cab, and B, one of them hop from the back seat to the front seat to ride with them. There's no fucking way. So, again.
And then she's going to fly him on a plane.
Yes. No cages.
Nope.
So, cool.
No,
Apparently,
I'm sure one of them's going to be the fucking co-pilot.
apparently she bought 3 tickets and they're taking up a whole row. So that's
Yes.
cool. But back in the lab, they see just how quickly and deadly the virus is, right? This is the same virus as 1967, the Motaba virus. Is that what it is?
Sirs, Mr. Motaba, up close and personal.
They don't know that. Hoffman and Spacey and Cuba Gooding don't know that.
Right. They think it's brand new.
Yes. Freeman, Morgan Freeman and Donald Sutherland want Hoffman off the case because they were around in 67 when this was
Oh, they made it.
Yeah, when this was a thing. And because they're trying to hide the virus and yada yada. Enter Patrick Dempsey. This is where we get
Jimbo!
Jimbo. Good job. He's stocking animals at a biotest facility.
Yes.
And apparently that's where the monkey was. And then he steals the monkey to sell it to a pet shop owner.
The illegal monkey black market to local Oregonian pet shops or Washington State pet shops.
Exactly. The monkey, there's a lot going on in these few scenes. The monkey spits on Patrick Dempsey. Like, this all happens in under a minute. The monkey spits on Patrick Dempsey, scratches the pet shop owner. The other monkey that he has in the pet shop eats the banana that the original monkey... So disease is already spreading all over the place. Dempsey then releases the monkey into the wild.
And I'm sorry, I have to stop you real fast.
Oh, go right ahead.
Because this gives us a great opportunity for our PSA. Number 1 of the day. Hey kids, Uncle Corey here. Quick reminder, if you're harboring illegal animals and they spit directly into your mouth or any orifice, go directly to the hospital. And he just laughs at, huh, you little scamp. Fuck you, monkey. First off, I'm breaking your fucking neck, and I love animals. You don't spit in my mouth, monkey. And number two, we're going to the hospital with dead monkey on my hip like, yo, this thing spit in my mouth, cut it open, whatever disease it's got, because it's got one at least.
Oh, absolutely.
Start finding my cure-all, because I'm done.
So he releases this thing into the wild and then gets on a plane, as you do. He obviously, by the time he gets on the plane, is like deathly ill. And on the plane, he gets sick and apparently super creepy with a kid.
Now, I don't want no trouble with the law.
Dude, quit talking to my kid when you look like you are dying. How did you get on the plane looking like that? Where are the flight attendants going? This guy ain't right, man. Something is very wrong.
If you have more than 4 drinks, you can't get on a plane. This dude literally looks like he's dying. At no point, even if like a friend of mine was like, you gonna finish that cookie? Was I like, yeah, sure, go ahead and have it. No, I look at him like, what are you, a fucking animal? Go get your own cookie.
Yeah, I don't let my special lady friend eat off my plate.
Like, I already took a bite off of that.
You want something? Order it. Yeah, exactly.
So
we don't drink. You don't even drink out of the same. Hey, I'm thirsty. Can I have some of your water? No. I'll pour it into your hand if you'd like, and you can sip it like a fucking mule. But you're not drinking out of the same thing I am.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So the shop owner, Rudy, and Patrick Dempsey spread this disease, and it just starts going all over the place. Rudy, Patrick Dempsey, and then Henry, yes, the guy who's spinning the blood in the centrifuge, apparently puts his hand into the thing while it's still spinning because he's not paying attention because he's listening to a baseball game.
For the San Francisco Giants, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors,
I didn't even know they still announced baseball games on the radio in 95.
Can we just take this to the most base issue here?
Sure.
This guy came in, Rudy, died. They don't know why.
Yes.
So they sent his blood to the lab.
Yes.
You, as the lab tech, are so fucking easily distracted that you're working with blood and can't even focus
For 2
on taking
seconds.
the vial out of the spinny thing. You deserve everything that happens to you.
Yes.
If you are that irresponsible in such a job that requires that much attention to detail.
Yes.
You're not like making crayons. This is human beings' blood that you don't know how they died.
So he goes to the doctor. He's asking him questions, like,
what about AIDS or hepatitis?
We'll have the blood tested, Henry. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
yeah, hopefully you get a guy that's a little bit more competent than you doing the blood work. But
And again, they're just so like, I don't know.
yeah. And
You're the doctor that ordered the blood test because you don't know how the other guy died.
yes. Henry then goes to the movies with his girlfriend. He's sweating profusely. He's coughing all over the place. If I got the sniffles, I won't go to a movie. What? So, whatever. He goes to the movies, and
But it's not whatever, because this is the track of irresponsibility
Oh yeah.
in this movie. And by the way, PSA number 2, do nothing, just like Fear. Do nothing, children, that these people are doing in this movie, because they are so irresponsible and so just nonplussed about anybody else in their lives. It is amazing. For such a small town, nobody cares about one another.
Yes.
Jimbo gets off the plane and goes,
I don't know. Something I hate or something.
and his girlfriend tongue fucks him.
Yeah.
First off, don't do that. Don't do that. Even if you don't think it's infectious.
Yes.
Don't do that. Second, Henry goes to the goddamn movie theater and is open mouth coughing.
Yeah, not covering his mouth or anything. This is the part of the movie that I was just like, oh, really? This is kind of dumb. Because this scene, all this scene needed was him coughing, open mouth coughing, as irresponsible as it is.
Yes.
The slow motion, which also was gross, cough and the shit flying out of his mouth. Fade to black. They went through this like Matrix style shot of the spit flying through the air over people's heads, people laughing, it going into their mouth. It felt like a 5-minute scene.
Yeah, that was simply made, like that was a studio, I can almost guarantee that's a studio note going, oh, we don't understand. How does everybody else get sick?
Yeah.
And then going, all right, motherfucker, well, lowest common denominator, fine.
Exactly.
Here you go.
After this, everyone's dying, right? In this town. They figure out what's going on in this town. Hoffman fights with Freeman about getting to the city to help. Because Hoffman's like he's a rebel. Like he's the rebel doctor. And apparently he's been wrong about like 400 diseases, but like I'm right about this one.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Uh-huh.
What about 1992, Lassa fever?
I was wrong.
Wrong again.
Yep.
But you right about this.
No, I could be wrong.
He's the best one they got.
Yes.
But he's wrong about every single fucking outbreak that's ever going to be possible.
So Hoffman pulls the old dipsy-do, and he's just like, yeah, the guy over here told me with the thing, and then, were you going to call him? It's 2:30 in the morning. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm going to call him.
Well, yeah, like, oh, if you call him, that's going to be your ass. Yeah, I got yelled at in basic by a lot more intimidating people than you. I'm going to go ahead and call him. Thanks, though, Dusty.
So Sutherland orders the military to contain the area in California. Hoffman figures out that it's airborne. Here's the second scene, like the movie theater scene, where Dustin Hoffman looks up at the vent, and then there we go, camera in the vent, down the hall, and then down the vent, and then boom, there's Dustin Hoffman again, like,
It's airborne.
it wasn't, but now it is because there's a second strain, whatever. The military does, again, going back to Hoffman getting on the plane and pulling the dipsy-do, the military throughout this movie does a piss poor job of keeping the area contained. People are getting through and getting in Hoffman's face and Rene Russo's face and like, what are you doing in our city? It's so...
And Morgan Freeman's like, we're containing them. We have them quarantined in their houses.
No, we're not doing it because I just drove through 100 people.
There's no quarantine happening at all. This whole town is dead. If they're within, like, I don't know, a window of that hospital, they're all dead.
Exactly.
If it's airborne.
All they did was take, like, rickety, like, 2x4s, nail them together, and put barbed wire around them on one main road coming in. And they were just like, yep, it's contained.
Nobody in or out, but the rest of you fuckers can socialize and spread like crazy. Actually, please, because it's going to get our job done faster.
So the town then starts to, like, riot.
Yes.
And they have had enough. Instead of being like, oh shit, maybe I should be in my house. Why, when everybody gets sick, do they just want to leave and go places and get on planes and fucking, let me just go and cough on everybody. Like, just open mouth cough right on your face. Like,
when I'm healthy, I just want to be quarantined.
So Freeman administers the E1101, the cure to this disease that they've been trying to keep a secret.
Yes.
And again, up until now, pretty decent movie. This is where everything goes haywire.
Yeah,
like,
it's really starting to fall off the rails at this point.
Yeah, because Spacey's testing blood samples, gets mad at all the blood samples because the whole town's infected.
This whole damn town's infected.
That's why you're there, dumbass.
Exactly.
Rene Russo doesn't notice that Spacey's suit rips. It makes the loudest noise ever.
He's panicking.
Yeah, leaves the room.
Runs out the room.
Yes.
And again, this goes back to our irresponsibility factor, both on Rene and his part.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say anything. He's just like...
Oh, nothing. I just got a sudden case of the wheelies.
For people that are so... that have a mind that's geared toward investigating and solving problems, they are the most inept, socially backward idiots I have ever seen in my life.
And the next scene goes into them discussing bombing the town to keep the virus contained. You know, back to Donald Sutherland's go-to move.
It was such a fucking distinct presentation, like PowerPoint presentation.
Like he had used it before.
Exactly. And then it actually is like being discussed in a cabinet meeting without the president. First off, that's not how cabinet meetings go. Never in a million years, under any, I don't care how you feel about the left, the right, the middle, doesn't matter. That general would have probably been fired 15 seconds after he just goes, all right, this is Project Clean Sweep. Here's my presentation. Get the fuck out. I already know where you're going. Get out. You did this 4 years ago in the last administration. You're always planning to just commit genocide on American citizens. Please leave my cabinet.
Yes, absolutely. So,
crazy. Third problem with that whole thing is, if they're having a meeting like that, it's in the Situation Room where nobody else can go. They're in an office.
Yes, they had.
Hey Stan, I'm Dan, your new intern. Do you need a coffee? Clean sweep. What the fuck is that?
So Spacey then goes. He gets sick. Russo gets stuck with the needle, and she even says,
"God, I know how to work with needles. Why didn't I wait?"
They figure out the town is getting bombed. Spacey's sick. Rene Russo's sick. Donald Sutherland orders Hoffman to be arrested.
Now you find him and you arrest him.
He was already ordered to be arrested earlier in the movie, like 20 minutes ago in this movie.
He was a fugitive 5 minutes into this movie.
And Morgan Freeman just decides like, well, you're here, so I guess we'll just let you do your thing. So now, Donald Sutherland gave the order, so
Yes. Well, and Morgan Freeman is having the slowest crisis of conscience I've ever seen happen.
Now, Hoffman realizes that he's going to be arrested. So him and Cuba Gooding, they sneak onto military vehicles and steal military vehicles in this movie so easily. And aircraft, okay?
PSA number 3. Hey, kids. Uncle Corey once again. Just a quick reminder that if you would think it'd be really fun to fly on a military aircraft, do not try just walking up and yelling at them. They will shoot you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Sir, my pilot's taking a leak.
You better tell him to squeeze it off, Sergeant.
Sir! How about you give him a hand, Sergeant?
Yeah, okay.
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 And then they steal...
You're right, I better.
They steal the chopper. Here's the thing. The minute that chopper gets off the ground, they shoot it down. They don't just go, shit, he stole the chopper. What do we do?
I don't know. Maybe jump in the other 6 that are sitting right there?
So they go to like San Francisco to look into the boat that had the monkey on it because they're trying to figure out, all the boats that left the port and if they had animals and yada yada.
And this is where they start actually rolling into like, I'm committing acts of domestic terrorism.
Absolutely. So they come in and threaten everybody with the virus at the office where they're trying to get all the information from. Some old slut helps them.
Closer than his wife would lie.
Who are you, Amy Brenneman? Don't slut shame her. She wants to tap the Coast Guard's married seaman. Let her.
She had about 2 gallons of makeup on, and that's exactly what she looked like.
After Hoffman figures out it's the monkey on the boat, they then go to a TV station and forcibly take it over, like with a gun, and threaten everybody. Here's your domestic terrorism. They go into the studio, they do that. There's a mom like, oh, my daughter drew a picture of a monkey. It must be the same monkey. So they find the monkey, and then Dustin Hoffman uses a 7-year-old as bait.
Yes.
So that they could shoot the monkey. They use the 7-year-old to capture the monkey. Cool, whatever. Cuba Gooding is not only a brilliant doctor, an accomplished helicopter pilot, but he's also a marksman with a tranq gun.
Except for he shits himself every time he's getting ready to do something for the first time.
Yes.
Walk into Zaire, disease everywhere, shit myself. Getting ready to steal a helicopter, take off right away, uh-oh, shit myself. Getting ready to shoot a monkey with the tranquilizer gun and not hit the 7-year-old? Shit myself. Almost ruined that by knocking over a piece of pottery.
And then, after they trank the monkey, they get the monkey on the helicopter, and the military, Donald Sutherland, they all know where they are. So they're taking 2 military attack helicopters to shoot down them in their little pea shooter helicopter, right? And Hoffman is on the phone. He gets that information, basically. And Cuba Gooding says to Hoffman,
Problems, Colonel?
I'm going to go down the list of illegal shit we just did. Problems, Colonel? Yes. Many.
Yeah, like 50 years in Leavenworth kind of problems.
Exactly. And then there's the helicopter fight, where they're trying to shoot down this tiny-ass helicopter. They get faked out because the military apparently is just dumb.
Viper 2, lead. Can you get down there and search for wreckage?
Yeah, the 2 pilots, by the way, that are flying 2 helicopters.
Yes.
Are not as good of pilots.
As
even though that's specifically what they were trained to do. As the doctor.
That deals with infectious diseases.
Dude, this should have been John Cena or Dwayne Johnson as in Cuba Gooding Jr.'s part. Because that's the kind of like Fast and Furious type shit that Cuba Gooding is able to pull off in this movie.
They actually get back. They call Morgan Freeman like, hey, we got the monkey. We can create the antidote in 5 minutes. I don't doctor and I don't infectious disease, but I don't think that's how that works.
No.
regardless, for
we're just injecting everybody with monkey blood.
for
just wringing them out over people's foreheads and moving on.
This is how the Planet of the Apes started. So, but sure, you want to create that for cinema and what? Cool, I'm okay with that. I really am. But he tells Morgan Freeman, like, hey, we have this, we can cure all these people. And Donald Sutherland's like, fuck it, we're bombing them anyway.
Yep.
You are to proceed immediately with Operation Clean Sweep. Is that understood? Over.
This is what really bothered me, among other things. They get to the hospital, and fuck everybody else who's literally on the verge of dying. Like, Rene Russo's character probably has another day to live. It'll be excruciating, but she probably has another 24 hours. But they start with her. Why? Because it's your ex-wife and you're still in love with her? Oh, go fuck yourself. But
and by the way, you took off your helmet.
That's what pissed me off.
She's still infectious.
And you took off your helmet. Why? So you could put her hand on your face.
You could demonstrate your love.
Stop it.
Once again, like Fear, this movie makes me think I have never known true love. Because I'm not doing that for anybody.
Heck no.
Anybody.
And what I'm going to tell especially my ex-wife, is, hey, we got to treat all these other people. We'll get to you when we get to you. Hopefully you won't be dead. Then they find out that Donald Sutherland recalls the bombing.
They're coming. I picked up a transmission. The plane is in the air. They're coming, Colonel.
Yep. They get in their helicopter and they get into a game of chicken with the bomber that's coming.
Yeah.
And Hoffman plays to the pilot's emotions.
These people that you're going to bomb are not the enemy. We can kill the virus without killing these people. And I swear to you on my soul that the President of the United States does not have the facts.
They get in the way, veer off course, and drop the bomb in the ocean. Cool.
First off, there's no reason to do a low-altitude bombing run in this situation. You could go a little higher, than a helicopter can go. Idea 1. 2, it's still in your path. Okay. Bomb drops. You're telling me that Jet Wash can take out Goose and Top Gun?
Where is Jet Wash? Oh, shit.
And can't take out a helicopter?
He almost loses control after they just miss, and he gains control really quickly. So, whatever. But yeah, they prevent the bombing. They get everybody cured in the area. What I found funny was there's a shot of the outside of the hospital, right? People are leaving. You know, some of them are in wheelchairs, but most of them are walking out, and it's supposed to show that everybody's better.
Yeah.
But then Rene Russo, who got the antidote first, is still in the hospital bed, still a little fucked up, but getting better.
Oh, she's milking it because this is the first time Dustin Hoffman's treated her like a person. For Christ, he's not talking about the dogs. He's focused on me. I'm still sick.
So yeah, that's and then credits.
And then movie.
Dope. This movie, like I said, this movie could have been a great movie. It had the potential with the actors that were in it, with the first half of the movie and how well it was written. It was the first half of the movie was written by one guy, and then the second half of the movie was written by somebody completely different. The writer got fired on the project, and then somebody else was like, no, or one of the suits in the office was like, I'll finish this movie. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, the original writer of this movie went on to write Contagion because it's a far superior movie.
Yes, but a couple of things. One, this movie was way too long.
Way too long.
It was 2 hours?
God forgive us.
But as far as standing the test of time, this movie's 1995, so we're talking 25 years ago? Does it stand the test of time?
Silver anniversary. No.
No?
No. It's
I think it could have.
It could have. It's just it doesn't at all, and it's not because it's dated. It's just
not
so based in bullshit.
Yeah.
And the disease again, or the virus, isn't really the main bad. The main bad guy is the fucking Donald Sutherland and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
And that's where they went way awry.
Yeah.
They could have known about it and thought they eradicated it. But they didn't have to have fucking created a biological weapon.
Yeah.
It's just Jesus Christ.
You're 100% right. Like that, if it was just that, you know, hey, we knew about it, we thought we got rid of it. Oh, we didn't. Shit. Let's do what we can to, because then again, the virus is the bad guy in the movie, man versus nature and all that stuff. It would have been a 10 times better movie, and you could have still even kept the Rene Russo, Dustin Hoffman thing in it, and I don't think it would have taken away from the movie. But god damn it, can we just have a movie like the 90s seemed to me, and even in the 80s, it seemed to me like it didn't matter what the movie was. It's about an axe murderer, but there's a love story in there. Like there was a love story in every movie just because they felt like they had to have it. Can't we just have a disease movie, an outbreak movie where there's no love story? They're just trying to control the shit.
Are you dumb or something?
It does not stand the test of time, and it's not because it's dated. It's just because half of this movie is dog shit.
There's vomiting, diarrhea, bleeding in the nose, ears, gums.
So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment.
Horrible movie.
It is a horrible movie.
Just the more we talk about it, it's just like the more pissed I get, because it was like, again, I'm watching terrible movies, and it wasn't that I necessarily thought this was good to begin with. It was just more relevant.
It was relevant, but
I didn't realize it was that bad.
Well, I was just gonna say that. So it was relevant, and that's why we're doing it. It was also in Netflix's top 10. That was another reason. And again, I thought it was like at the end going in, I thought I was gonna be like, that was an okay movie. Maybe it stands the test of time, maybe it doesn't, whatever. But I didn't think it was going to be that bad. Where it was like, for half the movie, I was like, it's all right. And then I had to pause it at one point. It was literally there was an hour left. And I paused it, and I thought, like, there's, a half an hour left in this thing? And when I paused it, I went, holy shit, there's an hour left? What else is there?
Wait, I just want to tell you something that's important. No, I forgot.
Well, for Corey, I'm Armando, and this is Kiss the Reviews, and today was 1995's Outbreak.